Breaking into penetration testing with zero experience is one of the hardest things you can do in cybersecurity. Most people who try will fail, not because they're not smart enough, because nobody told them the truth about what this path actually requires. I'm going to be straight with you because too many people on the internet sell this career as easy money making, cool hacking. It's not. Penetration testing has the highest barrier to entry of any cybersecurity role. Most employers won't hire you because you don't have experience. But you can't get experience without a job, and the gold standard certification, the OSCP, has the first attempt pass rate that should make anyone nervous. But here's what nobody tells you: the barrier is the opportunity, because most people quit when they hear what I just said. They go into SOC instead. They go into GRC, which means the people who actually commit to this path face less competition than you think. And the reward: penetration testers are some of the highest paid professionals in cybersecurity. You get paid to break into systems legally. Every day is a puzzle, every engagement is different, and the demand is growing at 33%. That's three times the average growth across all industries. In this video, I'm going to give you the complete, honest roadmap: every phase, every certification, every free resource, the lab setup, the CV strategy, and the job hunt tactics that work when you have zero professional experience. This is everything I would do if I was starting from scratch in 2026. Let's go. Before we start, quick reality check. Because the internet has completely distorted what this job actually is. Penetration tester is hired by a company to simulate real cyber attacks against their systems. You find vulnerabilities before criminals do. Then you write a professional report explaining what you found, how you exploited it, and how to fix it. Here's what most people get wrong: you're not sitting in a dark room all day running automated scripts. The actual breakdown looks more like this: 20% reconnaissance and planning, understanding the target, scoping the engagement, and gathering intelligence. 30% hands on testing, scanning, exploiting vulnerabilities, escalating privileges, pivoting through networks. 30% is documenting and reporting, writing findings that CEO can understand and the developer can action. 20% is communication, scoping calls with clients, presenting results, explaining risk in business terms. That means half of your job is writing and talking. If you think pen testing is 100% technical and zero communication, this role will surprise you. And honestly, the people who are great at both hacking and communication are the ones who get promoted the fastest. Every pentester who skipped the foundations will hit a wall later. Networking, Linux, and scripting aren't glamorous, but they are the difference between someone who understands what they are exploiting and someone who just runs tools blindly. Now, you cannot hack what you don't understand. You need to know how TCP/IP works, what happens during a three-way handshake, how DNS resolves, how HTTP requests flow, what ports and protocols are, and how firewalls filter traffic. Not from a textbook, from building it and watching packets move. Professor Messer's Network Plus course is free on YouTube, but don't just watch it. Open Wireshark while you study, capture real traffic, see the packets you're learning about. Next is Linux, your operating system for life. Kali Linux will be your primary tool. But before you touch Kali, you need to be comfortable in a Linux terminal. File navigation, permissions, process management, bash scripting, typing commands together. Over the Wire Bandit is the best free way to learn Linux through hacking style challenges. 20 levels, each one teaches you a new concept. Then move to Linux Journey for broader coverage. And set up a Linux VM that you can use daily, not just for hacking practice, but for everyday operating system. The more time you spend in the terminal, the more natural it becomes. Next, is Python, your scripting weapon. You're not becoming a software developer. You're learning enough Python to automate tasks, modify exploits, pass output, and write custom tools when existing ones don't do what you need. Start with automate the boring stuff. It's free and it's online. Then move to writing practical scripts like a port scanner, a directory brute forcer, a simple reverse shell handler. These become portfolio projects and move and prove you can code under pressure. Next is CompTIA Security Plus, your very first certification. Security Plus gives you the baseline security knowledge and a certification that gets past HR filters. 25% of penetration testing job postings mention Security Plus as a requirement or a preference. It's not a pen testing cert, it's your entry ticket to the industry. Professor Messer, free, SYO 701. 2 to 3 weeks of focused study. Book the exam, pass it, move on. Don't spend 6 months on this. Now, this is going to be your phase one. So the resources for phase one, I'll put them up on the screen, but it's Professor Messer's Network Plus and Security Plus, which is free on YouTube. Over the Wire Bandit, again, overthewire.org. It's a free Linux hacking challenges. Linux Journey, again, linuxjourney.com. It's free structured curriculum. Automate the boring stuff with Python, again, free online. Wireshark, free packet analysis tool, and then Kali Linux, your free offensive security operating system. So that's the foundation. Phase two is where you start actually hacking things. And it's where most people either fall in love with this career or realize not for them. So phase two, learn to hack. That's what you're going to do once you've done the fundamentals. So fundamentals should take you no longer the first 3 months. Month 4 onwards, you learn to hack. This is where it gets real. You're going to spend the next 6 months breaking into machines, hundreds of them, failing constantly, Googling relentlessly, and slowly building a methodology that becomes a second nature. Try Hack Me. That's where you start. Essentially, it's your training ground. It's structured, guided, and designed for beginners. Start with a pre-security path, then move to the junior penetration tester path. Each module teaches a concept and then immediately makes you apply it in a live environment. Premium is around £10 to £14 a month, worth every single penny. You'll spend 2 to 3 months here building core offensive skills. Web application attacks, network exploitation, privilege escalation, and Active Directory basics. Important, don't just complete the rooms. Take notes on every single machine. What worked, what didn't, what you learned. Those notes become your personal methodology and your interview ammunition for later. Next is Hack the Box. That's where you start leveling up. Once Try Hack Me feels comfortable, move to Hack the Box. The jump is intentional. Hack the Box gives you far less guidance. The machines are harder. You will feel lost. That's the point, guys. Start with the retired easy machines. They have community walkthroughs you can reference when you're stuck. Then move to medium machines with no walkthroughs. The goal is to develop the ability to enumerate a target, identify an attack path, and execute it without anyone holding your hand. Hack the Box also offers the Certified Penetration Testing Specialist certification, which is gaining real industry traction. The exam gives you 10 days to compromise a full corporate network and write a professional report. That's a legitimate alternative or stepping stone if OSCP feels too far away right now. Now, the hacking methodology you must build. Random hacking teaches you nothing. Methodological hacking teaches you everything. Every machine you attack should follow this process. Reconnaissance, that's where you gather information, nmap scans, service enumeration, identify what's running, and what version do they hold. Number 2 is enumeration. You dig deeper into each service, directory brute forcing on web servers, SMB share lists, DNS zone transfers. This is where most machines are won or lost. Number 3 is exploitation. Use what you found. SQL injection, file upload vulnerabilities, known CVEs, misconfigurations, get initial access. Number 4 is privilege escalation. You're an low privilege user. Now find a path to root or system, SUID binaries on Linux, service misconfigurations on Windows, token impersonation, and kernel exploits. Number 5 is documentation. Screenshot everything. Note the exact commands, record the attack path. This habit is what separates hobbyists from professionals. Write this methodology on a whiteboard. Tattoo it on your brain. Every penetration test you ever do, lab or real, follows this structure. Next is your home lab. Build it now. You need a lab environment you can control. Here's the minimum setup. You need Kali Linux VM, your attack machine. You can install it on a virtual box or VMware. Vulnerable machines, either Metasploitable 2 or 3, DVWA, OneHub machines, free, intentionally broken for you to practice on. Next is Windows Active Directory Lab. This is going to be critical. Set up a Windows server as a domain controller with 2 to 3 Windows 10 workstations joined to the domain. Practice Kerber roasting, AS rep roasting, pass the hash, Bloodhound enumeration, a lateral movement. AD exploitation is now mandatory on the OSCP exam. Document everything on GitHub, network diagrams, configuration steps, attack screenshots, lessons learned. This is your portfolio. The AD lab is non-negotiable. The OSCP plus exam now includes it an assumed breach Active Directory scenario. If you never compromise the domain controller, you will not pass the exam. So phase 2 resources include TryHackMe, Hack the Box Academy Penetration Tester Path, VulnHub, Metasploitable 2 and 3, free which from Rapid7, DVWA, again that's free, Bloodhound, which is free Active Directory mapping tool, and IPsec YouTube channel detailed Hack the Box machine walkthroughs, free and excellent learning. You've been hacking machines for months. You feel confident. Now comes the hardest path of the entire journey, the certification that changes everything. Now, phase 3, the OSCP. The OSCP has become the gold standard of penetration testing certifications. 35% of penetration testing jobs specifically request it. It's the most respected, the most recognized, and the most feared certification in offensive security. And there's a good reason for it. The exam is 24 hours long, and you're given a set of machines to compromise. No multiple choice, no hints, no AI tools allowed. Just you, your methodology, and your skills. Then you have another 24 hours to write a professional report documenting everything that you did. Since November 24, passing the exam earns you both the OSCP and OSCP Plus. The Plus designation expires after 3 years and requires renewal, but the core OSCP is for lifetime. The exam now includes an assumed breach Active Directory scenario, where you start with credentials and must achieve full domain compromise. The PEN 200 course, the OSCP exam comes with OffSec's PEN 200 course. This is the training material. It covers Linux and Windows exploitation, web application attacks, Active Directory attacks, buffer overflows, tunneling, and pivoting. The course includes lab access where you practice on dozens of machines in a simulated corporate environment. Cost: the 90-day course and cert bundle starts around £1,400 or $1,749. The 365-day option is more expensive but gives you a full year of lab access. If budget is tight, the 90-day option works if you've already done extensive practice on TryHackMe and Hack the Box. How to actually prepare. Here's what people who pass do differently. Complete every PEN 200 exercise. Don't skip any, even if you think you know it. Root 40 plus machines across multiple platforms, from PEN 200 Labs, Hack the Box, Proven Grounds. Variety matters. Each platform teaches you different things. Build a personal cheat sheet of every command, techniques, and exploit you've ever used. This becomes your exam reference. Practice report writing. Your exam report is worth actual points. Write a practice report for every machine you compromise. Include screenshots, exact commands, and remediation advice. Do at least 2 full mock exams. Pick 3 to 5 machines, give yourself 24 hours, write a report in the next 24. Simulate the real pressure. 6. Master Active Directory attack chains. Kerber roasting, AS rep roasting, ACL abuse, pass the hash, lateral movement, bloodhound. This is now mandatory, and you need to be confident in it. The OSCP demands 3 to 500 hours of focused preparation. That's not a weekend course. That's a lifestyle change for several months. If you're working full time, expect evenings and weekends for 4 to 6 months. There is an alternative path. If OSCP feels overwhelming right now, and it should if you're early in your career, then consider the pnpt from TCM Security first. The practical penetration testing certification with a 5-day exam window instead of 24 hours, a professional report requirement, and a live debrief where you present your findings to assessors. Cost around $499, including training and a free retake. The certification never expires, and the live debrief component actually teaches you a skill that OSCP doesn't test, presenting your findings to stakeholders. That's something you'll do in a real engagement. Here's the path I would recommend. Security first, Security Plus first, then pnpt to build confidence and prove practical skills, then OSCP as the capstone. pnpt gets you the first job, OSCP accelerates your career. Now, phase 3 certification options are, as I said before, OSCP and OSCP Plus, which is £1,400 to £2,200 or $1,700 to $2,500. Gold standard, 24 hours practical exam. pnpt from TCM, which is $499. Hack the Box CPTS, a 10-day exam, again 14 machine corporate network and growing recognition. An alternative CompTIA Pentest Plus, but again, it's a multiple choice exam, which I'm not necessarily, love it. An OffSec Proving Grounds, it's a PG play tier. PG practices are 15 quid a month, and OSCP adjacent machines. Certifications can prove your skills, but they don't get you hired on their own. The next section is where most pentesting candidates fail, and it has nothing to do with hacking. Last but not least, section is your CV, portfolio, and a GitHub strategy that you mustn't neglect. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You can have OSCP, 200 machines rooted, and a home lab that rivals a corporate network. If your CV doesn't communicate it properly, nobody will ever know. For penetration testing, your CV needs to tell one story. This person can find vulnerabilities, exploit them, and communicate the results professionally. The GitHub portfolio. Your GitHub is your portfolio, period. Here's what should be on it. Your home lab documentation, so network diagrams, build guides, attack scenarios with screenshots, shows you can build infrastructure. Active Directory attack lab, setup guide, Bloodhound output, attack chains, documented step by step, shows you understand enterprise environments. Custom Python tools, whether it's your port scanner, directory brute forcer, or automation scripts, shows you can code under pressure. Machine write-ups, 5 to 10 detailed write-ups of retired Hack the Box or Try Hack Me machines. Follow the methodology. Recon, enumeration, exploitation escalation, lessons. Show your process. A sample penetration test report based on one of your lab environments, executive summary, findings, evidence, and remediation. This is the single most impressive thing you can have on your GitHub portfolio. It shows you can do the actual work, not just the hacking part. Every repo needs a professional README file, what the project does, how to deploy it, architecture diagram. If a hiring manager lands on your GitHub and can understand your work in 30 seconds, you already won. And remember, CV is action plus proof formula. Every bullet point on your CV follows this structure. Action, which is what you did, specific and technical. Proof, here's the evidence and link to the GitHub and certification. Impact, what it demonstrates, a real security skill. So example looks like this. Designed and compromised for machine Active Directory lab environment, documenting pepper roasting, past the hash, and lateral movement attack chains with Bloodhound enumeration. Full documentation on GitHub, and then the link to it. That single bullet point demonstrates infrastructure setup, AD exploitation, tool proficiency, and documentation skills. 4 skills in just one sentence. LinkedIn, hack it with keywords. Recruiter searches run on keywords. Your headline should read something like this: penetration tester, OSCP, Python, Active Directory, web application security, ethical hacker. Not aspiring cybersecurity professional looking for opportunities. Keywords get you found. Vague titles get you ignored. Now, let's jump into the job hunt. Getting hired with zero experience. This is the section that makes or breaks your career change, because the reality is brutal. Most penetration testing jobs postings ask for 2 to 5 years of experience, and you have none. Here's to know how to navigate that. Tactic number 1: apply to consultancies, not enterprises. Penetration testing consultancies hire juniors far more often than large enterprises. Why? Because they need bodies on engagement. They train you on the job. They pair you with senior testers. Companies like NCC Group, Pentest People, Context is, and smaller regional consultancies regularly hire entry-level testers with OSCP or pnpt and a strong portfolio. Target these first. Tactic number 2: adjacent entry point. If you can't get pen testing role immediately, get adjacent. SOC analyst, vulnerability management, IT security engineer. These roles give you professional security experience, exposure to enterprise environments, and a launch pad into pen testing within 12 to 24 months. This isn't settling. This is strategy. 80% of working pen testers didn't start as pen testers. They transitioned from another security role. Tactic number 3: bug bounties. Get paid while you learn. Bug bounty platforms like HackerOne and BugCrowd let you test real applications legally and get you paid for valid findings. Even one confirmed vulnerability on a real target is worth more on your CV than the 100 lab machines. It's proof you can find bugs in production, not just in a controlled environment. Start with vulnerability disclosure programs. Companies that accept reports without paying bounties. Lower pressure, same real world experience. Tactic number 4: the hiring manager direct message. Don't just apply through job boards. Find the hiring manager or team lead on LinkedIn and send a direct message that looks like this: hi, I'm currently preparing for OSCP and have been documenting my penetration testing projects on GitHub, including Active Directory attack chains and a sample penetration test report. I know your team is hiring, and I'd love the opportunity to discuss how my practical skills could contribute. Here's my GitHub. Add the link, obviously. Would you be open for a brief chat? That message works because it's specific, it shows proof, and asks for conversation, not a job. 90% of applicants never do this. The ones who do get remembered. Tactic number 5: community visibility. Write machine write-ups on Medium or your own blog. Share your learning on LinkedIn. Contribute to open source security tools. Attend B-side conferences. Join the Try Hack Me and Hack the Box Discord servers. The pen testing community is small, and it notices people who contribute. I've seen people get hired because of a hiring manager read their blog post. Now, let's add it all together into a complete timeline and cost breakdown. Month 1 to 3, foundations, networking, Linux, Python, and Security Plus. Month 3 to 7, we're doing starting to learning to hack. Try Hack Me, Hack the Box, Home Lab, and Active Directory. Month 7 to 9, it's pnpt. Optional, but recommended stepping stone, 5-day exam. Month 9 to 14, it's OSCP, Pen 200 course and labs, 300 to 500 hours preparation. Month 12 to 16, that's where your CV, GitHub portfolio, blog write-ups, and sample pentest report come in. Month 14 to 18, you start job hunting, consultancy applications, bug bounties, hiring manager outreach. Total timeline, that's 12 to 18 months. This isn't a weekend project. This is a career defining commitment. Course breakdown is Security Plus exam, that's £350. For a Hack Me premium for 4 months, about 50 quid. Hack the Box, VAP, 4 months is £40. pnpt, which is optional, is around $499 or £400. OSCP Pen 200, 90-day bundle is £1,400 or $1,749. Practice exams and resources, £30. Everything else, Kali, Von Hub, Over the Wire, Python courses, and IPsec, free. Your total without PNPT is £1,870. Total with PNPT is £2,270. But compare that to a university degree, £2,000 and 18 months of discipline can take you from zero to a career paying 45 to 70k starting, with a trajectory to 100k within 5 to 7 years, and without a massive student debt. Now, I told you at the start that this is the hardest path in cybersecurity, and it is. But hard doesn't mean impossible. It means most people won't do it. And that's exactly why the people who do are in such a high demand. You now have the complete roadmap, the foundations, the hacking platforms, the certifications, the home lab setup, the portfolio strategy, the CV formula, and the job hunt tactics that work when you have zero professional experience. The only thing left is the decision to start. So here's what I want from you. Drop a comment and tell me, are you committing to this path? If you are, write I'm in below. I want to see how many of you are serious. And I'll check in back in 6 months to see who actually followed through. If you're already on this journey, tell me where you are. What phase? What's your biggest struggle? I read every comment and I'll give you specific advice. Hit like if this was the most honest video you've seen about becoming a pen tester. Every like pushes this to someone else who needs a real talk. Not the, become a hacker in 30 days nonsense. Subscribe. This is the 5th video in a complete cybersecurity career library. SOC analyst, GRC, cloud security engineer, AI security. Interview, masterclass, and now ethical hacker. All linked in the description. All free and no gatekeeping. The pentesting industry doesn't need more people who watched a video. It needs people who open the terminal after watching it. Be that person. I'll see you in the next one.